1984, Book 1, Chapter 7. Winston writes in his diary that the only way the party rule can be objected is by the Pearls, as they make up majority of the population of Oceania. However, they do not realize what the party is up to and their strength, so the idea of becoming rebellious doesn't even come to them. He was inspecting a children's history book and copied down a passage, and the part he copied mentioned that the living standards have increased in previous years. Even though the book said so, Winston was suspecting it not true, as history has been changed and rewritten, and there is also no way of knowing the actual truth. He also knows that the party is lying and misleading, because of one time, Winston had photos of the people government claimed never existed. Scared, he destroyed the evidence. Winston thinks that O'Brien has stray and rebellious traits, so he thinks of giving the diary to him. He also wonders all about the illusion they're living in and believes that Brian can be trusted, but figures that freedom lies in the ability to interpret reality. 1984, Book 1, Chapter 8. Winston takes a walk down the Pearl District and is very jealous of the way they live. He walks into a pub and notices an old man and starts talking to him, hoping to get some information about the past. However, the information he got was too vague. Probably it was the beer, or the pearls, or just ignorant. Winston goes to the second-hand store where he bought his diary and buys a paperweight with coral in it. While talking to the proprietor, he takes him upstairs where he and his late wife used to live, but now is abandoned. The fact that there is no TV in the room catches Winston's eyes, and the thought of renting the room came to his mind so that he could be in private. While he is returning home, Winston notices a dark-haired girl, and he soon evaluated that she was spying on him. He was terrified, and even imagined killing her with the paperweight. When he is home, he is in a state of panic. He tries to calm himself down by thinking about the dream, but he couldn't help remembering the party slogans. 1984, Book 2, Chapter 1. During work one morning, he comes across a dark-haired girl, the spy. She falls down and he picks her up, and while doing so, she passes a note to him, saying that she loves him. This struck Winston hard and gives him a sudden realization and boost to live without barriers. After a few days of not talking, he manages to sit on the same table as of the brunettes, and plan to meet at a crowded place, where they will be hidden from cameras. They do meet up, and there, Winston gets directions to a place where they will be alone, and while they were in the crowd, they held hands briefly.
Book 2, Chapter 2. It's Sunday, and Winston follows the brunette's directions to meet in the countryside in some bushes. There are no telescreens or hidden microphones. The brunette kisses Winston and tells him that her name's Julia. Winston feels confident with the hiding place, given Julia's apparent experience. Julia tears off her junior anti-sex league sash and shares a small slab of luxurious chocolate with him. They continue walking through the bushes and into the woods. In the woods, Julia tears off her overalls, flings them aside, and they do the deed. Winston asks whether Julia had had sex before. She answers she's done it scores of times and always with party members. Winston responds that the more men she has been with, the more she loves her, for he sees sexuality as the ultimate form of rebellion against the party. Indeed, Winston is thrilled that the animal instinct, simply sexual desire, is still alive. Within it, they are able to strike a blow against the party. The two lovers then fall. Book 2, Chapter 3. Upon waking up, Julia instructs Winston on how to return to London. Over the coming weeks, they arrange several meetings but only succeed in getting it on in the month of May. Engaging in what they call talking by installments in parole districts after work, Julia reveals that she is a 26-year-old and lives in a hostel with 30 other girls, and had her first sexual encounter when she was 16 with a 60-year-old party member who later committed suicide to avoid arrest. All she is interested in is sex, and is not interested in any organized revolt against the party. The two muse about reasoning behind the party's anti-sex campaigns. Winston later tells Julia about a walk he once took with his wife 3 or 4 months into their marriage, during which he contemplated pushing her off a cliff to her death. Winston says it would not have mattered if he pushed her or not, because it was impossible to triumph over the kind of oppression the party exerts over their lives. Julia unfortunately doesn't understand